Hello everybody, we have a special one today, and that's this original 1958 AC Ace-Bristol that recently sold with RM Sotheby's in Monterey. It's the most original, best preserved, unrestored example, and I can't wait to share it with everybody. So why do I love this car so much? Well, it's the authenticity and condition that get me. Gone is the anxiety of scratching and getting a door ding. It's the kind of car I could run and enjoy without the anxiety of preserving perfect paint. Not to mention the design is an English-made copy that steals from the best of its period. The engine bay still has its untouched Bristol Aircraft Company engine combined with its original aluminum body and chassis built much like a Ferrari Barchetta of the era. It's easy to see why Carroll Shelby also fell in love with this. So let me geek out this one time and let's tour this fantastic Survivor to see what we uncover.
All right, let's have a look at this absolutely glorious orangey red interior. And this is really exceptional that the original interior survives 100% wholesale on this car. I'm going to start with the door though. So the assembly of this door was steel tube with a steel flange riveted to it and aluminum wrapped around it. It's a very lightweight design that was pretty much copied from Ferrari. This door panel here, one-piece leather that was kind of sandwiched in between the latch and the door hinge, just out of simplicity. This whole car is incredibly simple. And you see the door hinge here and the catch strap. They painted the hinges to match the interior colors. See that? There's the original pedals, and you can see the grommets on the pedals. A piece of aluminum there. That's very interesting to where maybe the carpet wore, or maybe it's an original feature. I'm not sure. See the original mat here? That's the same corrugated mat from the trunk. Some cars are fitted with some cars are fitted with heaters. This one is not. It would sit right here on these tubes, and the tubes are just painted black, I think. See the shift gaiter there. Original carpet around the trans tunnel. Oh, one thing I should talk about the fabric here. It's this mohair. It's a synthetic fiber that was just glued to the backing, and it doesn't hold up. That's the same material here. If I just go back to the door, you can see here, this is a better preserved version of it. This kind of synthetic, long synthetic fiber, almost like a carpet. The seats, well, what are they? They're beautiful. The original leather. Look at the latch mechanism here and how that's in there. Now in the back here, we can just get a little peek at this back panel. It definitely goes from vinyl to carpet, kind of in a circle in behind the seat. And yeah, wow, what an impressive piece. There's the original grab handle. The glove box, I don't have the key, so I can't open that. You can see the full complement of gauges. The original Blumels wheel. You can see the adjustment there to move the wheel fore and aft. And then there's not much more to talk about the windscreen, but look at, there's the grommet there. It's an original style grommet. And yeah, just really, really wonderfully preserved interior. All right, everybody, inside the trunk of the AC Bristol, and it really reveals a lot about the construction techniques of these cars. And first and foremost, I want to mention the reddish tinge that's all over the inside of the trunk. And this car confirmed what I thought, and that is that these cars were flocked originally inside the rear trunk, and they flocked it actually after the wiring harness was installed. Have a look at this. And so after a period of time, this flocking didn't really hold up. It wasn't really a permanent process, and as we can see, it kind of fell off and looked ugly. So many cars are missing this detail, which is essential for a correct and accurate restoration of an AC Ace-Bristol. One of the reasons why I love this car so very much. It just has original details like this we don't see anywhere else. So what else can I say? So there's definitely a piece of carpet here on the tray. going to vinyl, going to this textured piece of vinyl on the floor. It has this little hoop here. I assume that's for the jack or the knockoff hammer. I'm not sure. Definitely see the chassis tubes here, and the wirings kind of goes in behind it with these clips that are wound. It's pretty nicely put together. Have a SU pump here on one side. Now, I think this was an aftermarket thing because most of the AC Ace-Bristols have a mechanical pump attached to the engine, which we'll be having a look at shortly. Can definitely see the bars for the jack painted black, and there's the clip in the Mickey Mouse wing nut there holding it on. Likely there's an original spare here. We can see this actually dials down into the frame, and that's why it's kind of offset in relation to the hub of the wheel. The material here, this rubber material, is no longer available. It's kind of a square section seal, so that's something that I never see on any other cars. The trunk lid itself is painted body color on the bottom, and we can see that it definitely was red oxide, then black, and then after it was painted, the wiring went in. You can see the clip here that attaches the stabilizing bracket to open and close, and then there's the body number there on the hinge. So yeah, very nice to see what's inside this original Bristol coupe. There is a clip over there. There's nothing attached, so I'm not sure what's missing right there. And what else can I see here? Not much else. Definitely kind of painted black right up to the threshold of this rubber, and pretty amazing stuff. I'll just take a minute here to look at these bumpers. They're put on with, I think, a modified bracket that are a little closer to the body than I normally see on AC Aces. But look at this, original rubber, original lights. Man, this is the kind of original details I just love with cars like this. So now I have the privilege to show you guys the engine bay of the most original AC Ace-Bristol in the world. It is so remarkable, and there's a lot to learn here, so we're going to deep dive and move all around. I guess first we'll look at this Bristol engine. We have a magnesium cam cover here, 3 Solex carburetors, and quite a complicated linkage system with a bit of springing, and the Volks Guilford oil filters. I think these have been repainted at some point. On the last car I did, they were definitely black. I did see black paint on the inside. So I don't think that's original, but all the fastening hardware certainly is. So you see it's kind of peened over in the middle. I'm not sure, but that's the way that the hardware was on the last one I did. Very unusual hardware here to hold down the carburetor. These thin BSF nuts, see those? Hardware that's pretty difficult to find, or you just have to make. These are magnesium let's call them rocker covers. And this one's definitely been painted, and it looks like it might be original. So that's very interesting that these cars have magnesium covers that were painted black. Of course, the exhaust manifolds completely unpainted with some very long brass nuts holding them to the cylinder head. We can have a look here at the chassis tag and the way that the wiring routes on the firewall.
Now, all the inner panels in the engine bay are unpainted, as AC Aces were only painted on the outer panels.
Have a look at the wiring on the driver's side. And there's an aftermarket accessory here. You can see the flasher unit from Austin Healey. Keep going around with the wiring. I think there's a body number here on this hood hinge. The hood is definitely painted body color on the back side. See the horns in there. Loop clamp painted. It's the original radiator. There's the transverse leaf spring, like the early Cobra, and a very unusual steering linkage down there. Original harmonic damper. I'm not sure that these are original corrugated hoses. These are kind of like something you can get from the auto parts store. Swing around to the other side. You can get a better view of the electrical system here. And right here actually is got a witch's hat grommet. It's kind of petrified. This one's been converted to a spin-on filter. Now, very interesting here. I think that the wind might be ruining this video, but I have a fuel rail here that has two inputs, one on the front, one on the rear. Now, the one on the rear, I believe, comes from the mechanical fuel pump right here on the side of the block. Now, this second one comes from that SU pump we saw in the back, and that was more of a competition feature to make sure that fuel is being fed from both sides, and it would not starve this car of fuel on really aggressive accelerative runs. Again, we see the same kind of squared off foam for the engine bay. It looks like this is a new product, unlike the trunk, which had the original. You can see the hood rod there. It's painted black, and it just tucks into the corner here. It was very simply done. Yeah, wow. What an amazing engine bay. And of course, one thing I'll mention too is this this standoff here for the oil filler. These often fell off because they were held in with an O-ring at the bottom, and these wiggled off and got lost a lot. See the original stamping there, RS.
In conclusion, it's such a privilege to see one of the last remaining original paint ACs in Monterey. And this is before either its next owner preserves the 66-year-old history of this paint and these finishes, or before it gets completely wiped away with a new restoration. Now, this car sold in Monterey for just over $200,000, which is just 1/5 of the asking price for a similar Cobra, and that's for a car with a much more sophisticated engine and for a car produced in less numbers. So a real bargain in my opinion. Anyhow, it was a privilege to see the car in Monterey. I'd like to thank Sotheby's for the opportunity to make this video, and I really wish I was in a better position to purchase this car. Congratulations to the new buyer, and thanks for watching, everybody. See you later. Bye-bye.